Wild fruit. It was a long walk to school, down the hill through the rhododendron trees, across a small stream, around a bare brown hill, and then through the narrow little bazaar, past fruit stalls piled high with oranges, guavas, bananas, and apples. The boy's gaze often lingered on those heaps of golden oranges, oranges grown in the plains, now challenging the pale winter sunshine in the hills. His nose twitched at the sharp smell of melons in summer. His fingers would sometimes touch for a moment the soft down on the skin of a peach. But these were forbidden fruit. The boy hadn't the money for them. He took one meal at 7 in the morning when he left home, another at 7 in the evening when he returned from school. There were times, especially when he was at school, and his teacher droned on, lecturing on honesty, courage, duty, and self sacrifice, when he felt very hungry. But on the way to school or on the way home, there was nearly always the prospect of some wild fruit. The boy's name was Vijay, and he belonged to a village near Mussoorie. His parents tilled a few narrow terraces on the hill slopes. They grew potatoes, onions, barley, maize, barley enough to feed themselves. When greens were scarce, they boiled the tops of the stinging nettle and made them into a dish resembling spinach. Vijay's parents realized the importance of sending him to school, and it didn't cost them much except for the books. But it was all of 4 miles to the town, and a long walk makes a boy hungry. But there was nearly always the wild fruit, the purple berries of the thorny bilberry bushes ripening in May and June, wild strawberries growing in shady places like spots of blood on the deep green monsoon grass, small sour cherries and tough medlars. Vijay's strong teeth and probing tongue extracted whatever tang or sweetness lay hidden in them. And in March there were the rhododendron flowers. His mother made them into jam, but Vijay liked them as they were. He placed the petals on his tongue and chewed them till the sweet juice trickled down his throat. But in November there was no wild fruit, only acorns on the oak trees, and they were bitter, fit only for the monkeys. He walked confidently through the bazaar, strong in the legs. He looked a healthy boy, until you came up close and saw the patches on his skin and the dullness in his eyes. He passed the fruit stalls, wondering who ate all that fruit and what happened to the fruit that went bad. He passed the sweet shop where hot, newly fried jalebis lay protected like twisted orange jewels in a glass case, and where a fat, oily man raised a knife and plunged it deep into a thick slab of rich amber-colored halwa. The saliva built up in Vijay's mouth. There was a dull ache in his stomach, but his eyes gave away nothing of the sharp pangs he felt. And now a confectioner's shop, glass jars filled with chocolates, peppermints, toffees, sweets he didn't know the names of, English sweets wrapped in bits of colored paper. A boy had just bought a bag of sweets. He had one in his mouth. He was a well-dressed boy. Coins jingled in his pocket. The sweet moved from one cheek to the other. He bit deep into it, and Vijay heard the crunch and looked up. The boy smiled at Vijay, but moved away. They met again further along the road. Once again the boy smiled, even looked as though he was about to offer Vijay a sweet. But this time, Vijay shyly looked away. He did not want it to appear that he had noticed the sweets or that he hungered for one. But he kept meeting the boy who always managed to reappear at some corner, sucking a sweet, moving it about in his mouth, letting it show between his wet lips, a sticky green thing, temptingly, lusciously beautiful. The bag of sweets was nearly empty. Reluctantly, Vijay decided that he must overtake the boy, forget all about the sweets, and hurry home. Otherwise, he would be tempted to grab the bag and run. And then he saw the boy leave the bag on a bench, look at him once, and smile. Smile shyly and invitingly before moving away. Was the bag empty? Vijay wondered with mounting excitement. It couldn't be, or it would have blown away almost immediately. Obviously, there were still a few sweets in it. The boy had disappeared. He had gone for his tea, and Vijay could have the rest of the sweets. Vijay took the bag and jammed it into a pocket of his shirt. Then he hurried homewards. It was getting late, and he wanted to be home before dark. As soon as he was out of the town, he opened the bag and shook the sweets out. Their red wrappers glowed like rubies in the palm of his hand. Carefully he undid a wrapper. There was no sweet inside, only a smooth, round stone. Vijay found stones in all the wrappers. In his mind's eye, Vijay saw the smiling face of the boy in the bazaar. A boy who smiled sweetly but exchanged stones for sweets. Forcing back angry tears, Vijay flung the stones down the hillside. Then he shouldered his bag of books and began the long walk home. There were patches of snow on the ground. The grass was a dirty brown, the bushes were bare. There is no wild fruit in November.